So today we're back with some market updates once again because, as always, over the past couple weeks, things have been changing all the time. There are actually some very, very big updates and some things that me personally that I'm very excited about, and I know there's a lot of people out there in the community that are going to be excited about these things as well. And this time I think there's actually a lot of good news because over the past couple weeks, there's obviously been a lot of like fear and anxiety and doom and gloom and stuff in the markets, but finally we do have some things turning around and things hopefully finally pointing back in the right direction. Starting off by just looking at the CS2 all items graph to see what things have been doing. The market's still been very, very stable. Obviously, we had this kind of like random weird drop off from like April 20th to April 21st, but things have kind of come back. I know that there were some people that were saying as the peer-to-peer marketplaces were going to start coming back, that prices would start going down because people were going to be going off of Buff 163 and trying to sell on all these other marketplaces and flooding out. And I don't know. I see a ton of tweets about people saying that they're selling everything and they're getting out of the markets and this isn't worth it anymore and it's dying, whatever. But I do think there's also the thing of like the Twitter or Reddit or social media echo chamber being so much different and such a small part of the CS2 and CS investing community and the CS economies overall that there's so many people playing the game and in different pockets and in different parts of the world. Obviously, you have an international market and all this different stuff. So you have to make sure you're not getting caught up in just the echo chambers or reading one side of all these things or whatever. Because again, the story will tell you that the markets have not even done bad. In the past month, it seems like we're exactly flat, maybe a little bit down. And that's while people are saying that they're quitting the game because cheating is so ridiculous and that they're selling because the markets are so stupid and that peer-to-peer trading's dead and all these million other things. But the markets have been relatively flat. If we do look at the Esport Fire 300 graph, which is, again, 300 items that have been specifically selected by Esport Fire to be kind of like a good overview of the entire market rather than just all the items, this is actually up over the past month. So depending on what you look at, you could say the market's even up a little bit, which obviously is not necessarily the story you would have seen if you were just looking at like YouTube thumbnails or tweets on Twitter or Reddit posts or CSGO Market Forum or whatever. But the market has actually been pretty stable, and some of the big updates coming out have been from CS Float, which this is the big one that we have all been waiting for. Over the past couple of weeks, we've gotten some websites that haven't really been totally affected or some websites that have started coming back. You know, you had Buff 163 and Buff Market that were never really affected that bad. You had GamerPay, SkinBid, different stuff like that was obviously coming back over time or was figuring out different ways to make peer-to-peer trading work. You had skin bot trading websites the whole time, like a million different sites. I don't even know all the different names of them. Obviously, I think like Skinport probably being one of the biggest ones of those. But CS Float, as far as for at least people in the West, you know, outside of China and stuff like that, was kind of the big one that people were really waiting for to come back because this is the one that has kind of really carried the trading and selling and buying community in the West over like the past year. The website has just been super, super good. It's so easy to get money in and out. There's really good volumes. There's really good liquidity. A million good things that, Float does better than SkinBid or does better than GamerPay or does better than whatever other website you're talking about. But CS Float being down is obviously still a really, really big hit and something that was really affecting, a lot of traders, a lot of cash traders, a lot of investors. But CS Float did tweet out on April 13th. This was more than a week ago at this point. They said, we're currently waiting on extension approval from the folks over at Google Chrome. To start getting ready for the launch of your new trading system, you can now list your items in preparation. See you soon. So this was a good sign. This showed that Float had some kind of solution ready to go in place. It showed that they were confident that it was going to work and that they're going to be able to put it out. And, they did have it as a Chrome extension or whatever. So people were asking questions, and I think I already talked about this in some videos as well. This extension shouldn't allow full access like the opt-in one, right? They said it was designed to be privacy-centric. How will this work on mobile? And they said for mobile, you have to stay tuned. So again, this was only going to be in Chrome, at least for now, this solution or extension or whatever. Again, somebody said, what about Firefox? They said Firefox takes much longer to review, so you'll need to use Chrome right now. So I don't know. Chrome is like the most used browser already, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but whatever. Then on April 16th, Float tweeted out this, just a YouTube video link. It's like the Jeopardy theme song or whatever, pretty much just saying that they were waiting around and waiting for Chrome to accept this extension so people could start using the site once again. Somebody said, well, with extensions, there's a risk just like with any other extension of possible manipulation. What would the steps be to secure users? And they said, hey, you can audit the extension. It's on GitHub. Somebody said you'd think there'd be expedition of the process for extension with many users. And somebody said, they said you'd think, right? But whatever, we still didn't have it yet. But again, we still knew that it was coming soon. And then finally, we got the big news a couple days ago on April 18th that CS Float said, we're excited to finally launch our new privacy-centric trade verification system for the CS Float market. Welcome back. So we were finally ready to go. This was a big, big, big sign. Again, a couple weeks ago, early April, people were saying peer-to-peer trading was dead, that it would never be able to recover, it would never come back, it was going to be this huge catastrophic thing, the market's going to crash, everything's going to go to zero, they're all selling out, blah, 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 whatever. And then again, 3 weeks later, less than 3 weeks later, before April's even over, CS Float is now saying that they are back with a fully functional thing. Is it perfect? No. Is it everything we are hoping for just yet? No. Obviously, only being able to do it on desktop and only being able to do it on Chrome is not amazing, but if it works good, it's at least something, and they now have bought themselves more time to fix the mobile version or to fix it for other browsers and stuff like that. Somebody said here, to be clear, all I need to do is have the extension installed and then send a trade through Steam on Google Chrome. And CS Float said the site won't let you progress otherwise. So let's actually take a look at what is going on with Float and their whole new system. So if you go on csfloat.com, you will now see that it says CS Float Market is back up and running, learn more. And if you click on that learn more, here it is, introducing CS Float's new privacy-centric verification system. They say it's been a pretty crazy 2 weeks. On April 3rd, various Steam API endpoints that facilitate the verifying of trades on peer-to-peer marketplaces were removed and caused havoc in the community. What emerged was one of two approaches as possible solutions. Steam session hijacking, which is, at least to my understanding, what stuff like Buff163 does, typical taken by large marketplaces that need to scale and some not as nice actors, or a manual escrow system with support team resolving disputes, typically taken by marketplaces that have the resources to manually resolve disputes at the sake of higher costs. But again, this solution, like people like GamerPay have talked about, it's not totally scalable because to have a bunch of people manually review stuff, once you start doing high volumes, you're not going to have enough people, you're not going to have enough time, or to have enough people, it's going to be so expensive that it's not going to be financially feasible. So neither one of these solutions seem great because, again, people are a little bit wary about Steam session hijacking. People don't want to get hacked or have all their items stolen or give a bunch of privacy and information away to these sites, but also the manual escrow system isn't feasible for the site. So what do we do? That's what they say here. Unfortunately, one has privacy issues for the long-term health of the peer-to-peer economy. While the access the site has to your account is typically short-lived, it still could conceivably perform other intentional actions or unintentional actions on your Steam account during that time. And there's a lot of people getting banned right now for having sessions hijacked in different locations and, Valve trying to protect your account and all that stuff. So that's kind of annoying as well. And then you might get a 15-day trade ban slapped on you or whatever. And they said, while 2 has the appeal of being more privacy-centric, it is incredibly difficult to offer this kind of system, and especially the digital gaming world where fraud is everywhere. It requires scaling your support team, but more importantly, still struggles to allow a user to provide irrefutable proof that they did, in fact, send an item to the buyer correctly while preserving privacy. So they ended up with their own kind of hybrid escrow system through this Google Chrome extension. As a seller, the main change is that you need to use a CS Float extension on Chrome and Firefox in the future when sending a trade offer. This used to be optional in order to prevent mistakes, but in order to provide a better experience for tracking sales on the site, it is now required. So I used their extension before, and I thought it was so helpful. You could literally just click a button, it would fill in the items. You wouldn't have to worry about getting the exact right skin with the right stickers and the right float or whatever. You wouldn't also have to worry about sending maybe the wrong items to the wrong people. You could just click the autofill and it would fill it in. Now it makes you do that. So I was already used to using this and thought it was a very, very useful and helpful tool. Now having to use it, I don't really think it's that big of a change. Just download the extension, click a button. It makes it really simple and easy. I think everyone probably should have been using this anyway, and it would have prevented a lot of confusion and issues even previously. We'd like to emphasize that CS Float extension does not send any private session details about your Steam account, such as your session token or login details. It only provides meta information to improve the seller and buyer experience on the site. Beyond that, most of the process is as automatic as it was before. It is possible that in some rare cases, a buyer is able to dispute their purchase, and in that case, we have the ability to provide you an irrefutable proof of delivery without sacrificing your privacy. So how this new system works pretty much is, again, they're going to see the items that are in your inventory, and you're going to click a button and it's going to autofill in those items, and they can, or they should be able to guarantee that you did send those items to the person because they're the ones putting the items in the actual trade, and then you're sending it, so they know exactly what items got sent and all that, and then it's not going to let you, proceed with the transaction unless you use their extension to autofill in that trade. It's kind of an ingenious solution, which I actually think is pretty cool. Why not just hijack my Steam login? While it's certainly tempting, we wanted to do everything that we can to avoid this. We didn't actually collect API keys, verified trades for users for the same reason. Having access to your full Steam login session allows a malicious attacker a higher attack surface than a Steam web API key would. Going forward, we're sorry for the long downtime, but are excited to offer an even more privacy-centric verification system. The system is designed to be resilient going long into the future. As long as you can trade skins, you should be able to use CS Float. So this is a very, very good sign. Not only they're saying this solution is ready to go right now, but they're also saying that they don't have really any worries or anything about this working forward in the future. I know sites like GamerPay were like, yeah, we don't know how long our solution is going to work for, if it's going to be scalable or financially feasible or whatever. But Float really, again, being that market leader in the West, I think this is a very, very good sign. I have been using Float a little bit already. It's back up and running good. Maybe the site isn't as popping as it was before. I don't even know if everyone knows that it's back or not yet. Again, not using it on mobile is definitely going to affect some people. Or having to use Chrome is going to affect some people or whatever. But getting the word out that Float is back and that you can actually use it and make trades and all that is a very, very good sign. And I'm really not as concerned about the markets anymore. Right now, the only big concern is, what is Valve going to do next? Is Valve going to try and screw them over again? Are they going to make more changes? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, the CS2 trading peer-to-peer markets seem officially back. Seems like every website is back up and running. Every website in different ways. If you agree with some solutions, disagree with some, whatever, you can go to a different website that's going to have different things in place. I'm really excited. I'm going to start my cash trading, full force back up again, hopefully very, very soon. But Float is personally my favorite website, so I'm very excited to have this thing back. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will be too. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then. Peace.